Hey guys and gals, I'm going to be going over the disassembly and reassembly rebuild, full rebuild of the 1970 CB450 front brake caliper. Obviously been taken off the bike already, but just disassembly here in this process. It was pretty crusty. Generally it doesn't appear that this has been gone through recently. It may have been, but it's been decades if it has at all. Obviously everything is dry, a lot of crusty old grease as you can tell in that part, as well as getting the bolts out was a bit of a struggle. I honestly wasn't terribly optimistic this could be rebuilt initially when I started this process in the first place. I actually have another video but tried to rebuild the master cylinder on the same brake system and it did not go well. The interior cylinder was fully knackered and it was unusable. So still giving this one the old college try, and actually ended up being able to be rebuilt, so pleasantly surprised there. I fought these bolts for 30 plus minutes. Obviously not going to show that whole process, but a lot of naughty words went into getting these bolts out, and as I said, it took about 30 minutes. But yeah, did eventually get them out. Looks like the corrosion where the lockup point was actually in the middle there. I assume moisture got in there, but they cleaned up real nicely with the wire wheel, as you'll see a bit later. Parts are pretty crusty and need a good cleaning, but generally, really, as I have with this whole build, been pleased with the condition of the base parts themselves. Here you can see pretty nasty in there. The cylinder and the piston itself weren't moving at all. Gave it the old grease method and this worked flawlessly. Highly recommend. What I did was you attach a grease fitting. This size was, what was it, 10 millimeter by 1.25. Slide that in and then pump some grease through it. It's initiating the same action as the normal brake caliper function, just using grease instead of brake fluid. Obviously a lot of goop subsequently, all that grease and nasty stuff in there, but here's the clean out process. It wasn't terribly difficult to clean out. Did this, what you're seeing here, and then dunked it in some degreaser for overnight and it cleaned up flawlessly. As you can see, here's the final results. Hit it with wire wheel as well. I live and die by the old wire wheel drill attachments. They're fantastic. Just be sure to use brass when using them on aluminum. And now on to reassembly. I'm greasing up this pivot point here, or pivot arm. There's something strangely satisfying about greasing up parts that haven't been greased and who knows how long. It's like the same feeling getting a new pair of shoes. I'm probably the only person in the world who feels that way, but I find it super satisfying. So yeah, there's a little rubber piece and a little notch on the inside of the cylinder that the piston slides over and helps seal that brake fluid. Adding a bit of grease to help that slide in, not much at all, just a very thin layer to avoid damaging the rubber as it slides in. Here we go. Went in. Everything fit really well. Again, I bought a new piston and from Common Motor, and it worked fantastic once again. I can't say enough good things about their aftermarket parts. Here we're doing the brake pad. I'm adding some brake caliper specific grease on that, being very careful not to get grease on the pad itself. the whole point of a brake pad is to add friction. Adding grease to that would be counterintuitive. You honestly should throw it away if you get grease on there. So there we go. So that's the other side of that brake caliper. And what that does is essentially pinch the along the brake rotor and makes your bike stop. We like that. So yeah, since I fought all those bolts, adding some anti-seize to these bolts in the scenario that I hope I don't have to do in the near future, but if I take these things apart again, that'll be a dividend that will pay off. That anti-seize here, generally good practice in general if you're rebuilding something. I have to say the bolts went in a lot smoother than they came out. Snugging everything up here. I will go back and snug nose down to their torque specs, but that's not video. And here's the final results. Couldn't be more happy with the results, and another part done. Thank you for watching.